broccoli sprouts are all sprouted up. Now we are at day 6. Looking good. 2 tablespoons of broccoli sprouts. If you haven't been following along in the vlogs this week, this is my first time trying sprouting. I used this sprouting jar that came from iHerb by Now Real Food. And just in observing the process moving forward, one thing that I noted about this, so for sprouting, there is a risk that the sprouts can develop mold if the water doesn't drain properly. And I think this jar is actually too large for the broccoli sprouts. They might be okay for like mung beans, but one of the dilemmas with this lid is that it holds a little bit of water in the kind of around the rim, and it doesn't drain super well. So I don't know that this is the best sprouting jar. I think I would have been better served just sticking. I know you can just use a mason jar with a little bit of cheesecloth or something on it, but I wanted to try this, but I don't know that I'd recommend it necessarily. And I also noticed that it has a crack in it already, and I don't know how that occurred, which makes me a little bit disappointed. So I'm kind of nervous that this is potentially a setup for mold if I tried doing this in the future here in Houston, particularly in the summer. Right now it's kind of cool and dry, relatively dry for Houston, but in the summer I think this is just going to be a mold problem. So I don't know. And honestly, that's not like a ton of sprouts, but maybe I'll have better luck with the mung beans. But they're cute, and I look forward to eating them. But I don't know. Doesn't seem worth the process. All you really have to do is rinse them every day and drain the water off. But I don't know. I can see why these are so expensive in the grocery store now, for sure.
But their own become totally impoverished. She was very beautiful.
Well, hey guys, so it is late afternoon and I am headed to the grocery store. It's grocery day today. As you saw this morning, my broccoli sprouts sprouted up quite nicely, but as I mentioned, I'm a little apprehensive that won't be something I'll be able to really keep up with, at least in that fashion, the way I did it for my first time, so please don't expect me to be an expert on it just yet, but I don't expect I'll be able to keep up with it in that fashion here in Houston in particular, because I'd be a little apprehensive about mold problems. I know that you can put a little bit of citric acid that you can get on iHerb into the rinse water, and that should cut down on that little problem. So I may have to acquire some of that if the sprouts are good enough that you know, I want to keep up with it. But it is rather laborious, I will say that, for the yield. I can see why they are pricey in the store for sure, but I think the mung beans will be more straightforward. I don't know if I'm gonna crack into that. I want to sterilize that jar and kind of put my brain around what I should do next. But anyways, this morning I'm still rocking that Bioderma sunscreen. I realized I mentioned last week when I went to H Mart, if you guys watched that vlog, kind of grocery vlog, that I noticed that sunscreen stung a little bit. I think it has to do with, I don't think it's the sunscreen, because I don't notice that for the most part on most days. I think it may have to do with like I had done a mask the night before or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I would ignore that comment. I don't think it really stings that much now that I've been using it. Maybe I'm just used to it, who knows, but I do really like it. And what else can I update you guys on? Oh, I am totally loving the dating scene here on the book front. I call it the dating scene because I'm kind of two-timing it, if you will, with Rosemary Pilcher's September. I have it on audiobook, and that is so good. You guys know I read and relished Shell Seekers back in, what was that, September, October? And this book is likewise just enjoyable, but one of the things that's kind of cool about it is that I don't believe they're actually a series, but some of the same characters are interwoven in this. And they're interwoven in such a manner that if you haven't read Shell Seekers, you're not going to be out of the loop, okay? It's not like, you know, you're out of it and you have no idea who these people are, but they come in a way and you're like, oh, and there's like a little bit more story of what happened to them afterwards. So I really like that, because I get really nervous when there's a series and it's not laid out like the order I'm supposed to be reading things, because that always makes me nervous. Like, am I going to get confused if I read in the wrong order? This is not that way, but it's kind of cool if you've read Shell Seekers, at least, because some of the characters pop back up. The other book that honestly I just want to drop out of life for a little bit and solely read, that I am loving, is Great Expectations. Oh my goodness, it is so funny. It is so funny to read Great Expectations, and just the writing is hilarious. But one particular thing that I noticed in the story, it's almost like Dickens had a foreshadowing of like social media FOMO, is when Pip goes to Miss Havisham's, and then he comes back and he talks about how you know, what he once just, you know, took as being his home and never minded, suddenly seemed less desirable, right? And he suddenly had, you can tell he's got like a yearning to live this other life, okay? Which is odd. I mean, Miss Havisham is, you know, kind of creepy with her spiders, and I mean, she doesn't go out. She makes me, sun protection wise, she's probably not rocking too many skin cancers. She makes me look like somebody like Polly off the Jersey Shore as far as her sun protection. My gosh, that woman doesn't see the light of day. But anyways, yeah, Pip kind of gets like jealous of her living situation and her you know, kind of material things. I feel like social media, Instagram, can really be that way, particularly this time of year. I've experienced that on social media in the past when I was living in a climate that was dreary and gray and there was a lot of snow. I mean, that can be depressing, right? And I would get on Instagram and people would post these photos of, like, you know, Grand Cayman vacations and all these elaborate exotic vacations, and I'm like, extreme FOMO, and it just makes you hate your situation all the more. So, you know, Dickens almost knew that was coming. I mean, that's essentially what Pip was experiencing, FOMO for Havisham. So, yeah, and you know, the point is, you're only seeing a partial reality on social media. So, you know, the partial reality, Havisham was crazy, and you know, who knows? These vacations, they're only showing you the highlight reel. They probably, you know, got diarrhea or something. But anyways, I came to Kroger this week because they are having their annual Delio sale on all of their Simple Truth organic brands. So gotta score that for the win. And it's raining out, and I don't have an umbrella. Yikes. So we will not vlog with you guys while I'm walking. I do have my hat, so that'll keep me somewhat protected. But not only did I want to come here for the Simple Truth Organic Delio, but I also finished my Anjou soy candle, and I'm in the market for a new candle. I want to see if they've got any Tuscany's. FYI, if you guys are looking for a good soy candle, I do recommend that Anjou one. It smelled wonderful. The aromatherapy one is the one that I had. I really liked it a lot. But I need a candle in my life, so hopefully I can snag a good one here at Kroger and have a little fragrance in my life. Living on the edge with fragrance, guys. Living on the edge. You know, fragrance in candles can be problematic. I know everybody's terrified of the health risks of candles, and you know, make your own decisions about that. I respect that. But if you have a fragrance allergy, you definitely should avoid scented candles, because they basically atomize fragrance and, you know, can cause problems. But as far as my H Mart haul, though, last week, I really enjoyed those Chinese pears. Someone was asking me what they taste like. They taste kind of like a they're not like a pear, really, and some people say they're a hybrid between a pear and an apple, and I believe that's incorrect. They're something entirely distinct. They're not super sweet, which is why I like them. They're very juicy, though, and it's kind of like biting into an apple, but the interior appears more pear-like. So if you looked at it, you would think you were eating a pear, but biting into it blindfolded, you might think you were biting into an apple. But taste-wise, it doesn't really taste like either fruit to me. I really like them a lot, and I ate them. And what else did I eat? Oh, the Enoki mushrooms. I have a few more of those left. You guys were asking me how I have tried cooking those. I basically just put them in soups, and they flavor the broth so wonderfully. I haven't tried any of the dried mushrooms yet that I got, or that sort of thing. But another food update wise, FYI, Matcha Reserve is discontinuing the blueberry matcha. Sad news, but guys, they came out with some jazzy flavors. They have strawberry, caramel, so I've got some more coming, and I am stoked as smoke for that. My mom is on the matcha bandwagon. She's like, can we get some more of the matcha tea? She really likes it, so I'm happy to have that back into the lineup. But yeah, that is a lot of updates, so I'm going to scuttle my butt here into Kroger and see what I can't cover.
They've already got all the Valentine stuff out, and Tuscany's got a Valentine lineup. I'm not falling for this trap though, because their normal Tuscany candles are on sale for $6.99, and I know that the holiday-ish scents go on sale like a few days after they relinquish them, so I'm not falling for that trap. But they have Red Hot Cinnamon. It's very, very cinnamony. This one's good. And the other one that I'm eyeing is Cherry Fudge. But that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. And then they also have Sweet Cupcake. That one's a little bit of a disappoint. I would say I like Cherry Fudge and the cinnamon one. That's what a Dozen Roses smells like. Ooh, that's really floral-y. That's really floral-y. They came out with a they even came out with a glass jar, kind of like Bath and Body Works style. Red Hot Valentine. Yeah, that's a little cinnamony. Wine and Roses. Ooh, that one's good actually. It doesn't smell like wine. It smells good. It's a nice scent. They also have the wax melts and Cherry Fudge. My mom has been burning the wax melts, and they really give a good throw, I have to say. Melting the wax melts, she doesn't light them on fire. But look, you can get this cute little wax melter. It'd make a cute gift, right? A little wax melter and wax.
Hey guys, so I just buzzed out of Kroger. This is the Pacifica SPF 30 Lip Balm Mineral. I really like this. It's vegan and cruelty-free for those of you who, I mean, if you seek cruelty-free products, I feel like you already know that. I'm putting it on. I wear SPF on my lips every day. It's cloudy out, it's gray out. I still wear sunscreen every day because it's a habit. So you guys are always asking me, like, I live in a climate where the sun doesn't come out for weeks at a time. I'm indoors. Do I still need to wear sunscreen? The answer is yes, okay? Because it's a habit. And if you go a few weeks without, a month or so, without buying sunscreen, without thinking to put it on, without the habit is broken, okay? So, it's more about the habit versus, yeah, your risk is low, much lower during those times. It's not zilch though, okay? And what if something comes up and, all of a sudden you find yourself having an opportunity to go on vacation at the last minute, and, you're more likely to forget sun protection, and the behavior's not there. And then you have a transition period. It may be too late at that point. You may get a burn. So if the habit is broken, it's harder to put it back into place, But I understand sunscreen can be expensive, and you're like, it's completely pitch black, etc., etc. Yeah, you don't need to reapply as aggressively, arguably so, but still, if you break the habit, it's going to be harder to put it back into place once you're in a situation where where the sun is more potent. So from Kroger, the theme is going to be Simply Truth Organic, because as I said, one of the reasons I went in there was to take advantage of the fact that all of their Simple Truth brand stuff is on sale right now. So I got 2 things of unsweetened almond milk, 1 plain, 1 vanilla. I got some fresh green beans for a potential recipe that I have in mind, but I tend to snack on these, so they may not last. I also got some apples. These are, I forget what variety they are, but they were in the ugly fruit bin. We have this bin at my Kroger where they put fruit that apparently isn't attractive enough to sell. I have no idea, but it's only 99 cents, and if you close your eyes, it still tastes good. Anyways, moving right along, I got, of course, some garlic, some ginger, a green bell pepper, 2 pears, 4 zucchini, because I've really been into my zoats. So I have that. And I got 2 white onions. I also got a head of cabbage here. And then I picked up this Simple Truth Organic Rosemary. I had a coupon for this, and it was on sale. I'm sure it's on sale by virtue of the fact that it's probably close to its dunzo date, but I can move quickly with this, no problem. You guys know my lentil compulsion. Couldn't walk away without taking one home. This was only $1, and I love these brown lentils. They don't even require soaking or anything. So I have these and mung beans and a whole bunch of other beans in my collection. So what's not to love? Again, it's like nail polish or lipstick for me. Anyways, from the bulk bin, I got some slivered almonds. I also got some organic Thompson raisins that I have here in my bowl jar. I got some celery that I went ahead and washed and chopped up, and I just store it in the fridge in glasses, NutriBullet container thingies. Anyways, then I also got, I want to make more of those fruity beans, and I ate the fruity beans that I showed in my recipe video. I ate the last of them today for lunch, so I want to make some more. So I got pineapple in the can, and then I don't have any more cranberry, so I went with the red tart cherries. These are both just in water, so no added sweetener there. And then I got some of the Simple Truth Organic powdered peanut butter. I enjoy this stuff quite a bit. I already told you all about the cabbage. Then, because I have such a produce habit, these things are my best friend. I can't do those little floss picking things, or I can't do toothpicks. Like, those just don't work for me. My teeth are positioned in such a manner that this works best for me. Dental floss sometimes alone is not enough. I mean, but this really amps up the gingival care right here. I strongly recommend these. If you're somebody who has you tend to get food stuck in your teeth, these are great, really great, and they're gentle. Oh, and then I mentioned this in my recipe video this week when I was peeling the potato, but I just kind of put the fallout from chopping into this little container here, so no veg goes to waste. Look how pretty that is. It looks like a flower. This looks like something that a child could dip in finger paint and then put on brown paper and make a pretty print out of. That's crafting potential there, but I'm gonna eat it. Then I got some red lettuce, and I got some fresh spinach here. So the other reason I went into Kroger was, of course, for the Tuscany Candle, and I got this cafe mocha scent. It smells really good, so I'm looking forward to burning that. But I also might go back once they put those Valentine ones on sale pretty quickly here. I know they will. I might get the cinnamon one, and I'll have to look at the footage to see which one it was that I said I liked. But anyways, I'm going to put all this stuff away, and I'll check in with you guys later. Well, hey guys, I just got out of the shower after the gym, and I put on my CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. I'm still using this, FYI, and enjoying it. I'm actually almost out of this one. But anyways, I I thought of something. You know, I mentioned that last week that the Bioderma Sunscreen was a little bit stingy that particular day. And I think in retrospect, one of the things that may have occurred on that day, you know, when I wash my face with Zapsid in the morning, it's not for cleansing purposes. It's really just to get the salicylic acid to kind of acne-prone areas. And you'll notice I tend to just target it, you know, around my nose and jaw areas. But I think that particular day I may have used a little bit up here on my cheeks, and that's where I had the stinging. And the point being that, you know, salicylic acid is BHA, okay? And, you know, if you remember back to my, oh, I got an eyelash in my eye. If you remember back to my, how to exfoliate the face and, you know, dermabrasion kind of talks, salicylic acid, you know, it thins the crusty stuff on the top layer of the skin. It doesn't thin the skin. It doesn't cause skin atrophy. It just, you know, exfoliates and desquamates the top layer of the skin that's going to come off anyway. And in doing so, you know, other ingredients can get in a little bit more readily. And if they have any side effects like stinging, you're going to feel that more. So I suspect that is what occurred that particular day. So, you know, as far as CeraVe, many of you find that the niacinamide in CeraVe, at least I suspect it's the niacinamide, many of you find that that stings you. If that's the case, and you've mentioned that other products, like the Paula's Choice one, sting you as well, some it doesn't, you know, it's completely it varies tremendously. Some people sting, some don't. I don't typically sting with niacinamide. But if you're using, you know, acids, retinols, and that kind of thing, and you find that, you know, CeraVe products are extra stingy, do be aware of that fact that you're just kind of, you've got a heightened sensitivity to anything that could possibly be stingy, okay? So pay attention to ingredients in your products. You know, do they contain alpha hydroxy acids, alpha hydroxy acid being lactic acid, mandelic acid, citric acid, or beta hydroxy acid being salicylic acid. Niacinamide is not a keratolytic. You know, it's more of a moisturizing ingredient, but it can sting the skin a little bit, and so it heightened the sensitivity to it. But I suspect it was that. One other quick comment about CeraVe. You know, in my CeraVe review, I talked about how the hydrating micellar water burns the stink out of my eyes. Like, I don't even know what to do with this. I'm like really sad that I bought it, and now I have no clue what to do with it. But anyways, I attributed it to the niacinamide in this, but I was looking, I've tried the simple micellar water as well in the past. And I was looking at the ingredients in Simple's micellar water while I was in Kroger, and it too has niacinamide, which is odd. You know, Simple is what, Johnson & Johnson, and CeraVe is, well, I guess now L'Oreal, so who knows, but hard to say what the ingredient in that was, but I can never recommend a micellar water, really, by the way, because you know, they leave behind a residual on the skin that can cause problems no matter what the ingredients are, no matter how, you know, vegan, cruelty-free, all natural they are. They all have significant potential for problems. So, you know, I recognize the fact that many of you wear a lot of makeup and kind of have to use micellar waters, or you find that they're really useful in getting off some of that makeup, in which case I would just advise you to wash your face with a gentle cleanser afterwards to remove the residua, because it can be problematic. And yeah, I know you get in situations where there's no water around, but you know, try and not make it an everyday occurrence, I guess, would be my only other tip. But yeah, just wanted to bring it back to stinging sensations that I mentioned earlier. But I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog today, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.